Hi guys, welcome to the latest Citizen vlog, and it's a City present as we look back to Tuesday the 21st of July, 6 p.m. kick-off down at Old Vicarage Road for the Watford City game. Watford 0, Manchester City 4. So again, a nice comfortable win, but I think they'd be grateful they got away with just 4 goals, Watford, weren't they, after the last couple of games we played against them, an 8 and a 6, a bit of a come down really, although we nearly had 5, didn't we, but a little bit more than that in a moment. Please, if you're new to the Citizen channel, please push that subscribe button. Please tell your friends, all your fellow City fans, about this little channel, and put your notifications to public so you get to know when these little match reviews and City Pass vlogs as well about our history, etc. And it's a few talking points that I might pick up on over the time, so that may be of interest to you. I try not to repeat what other people are doing. I try and add a little bit different into my little vlogs to what everyone else is doing, just to be a little bit different. And today we've got the match review, of course, the player ratings, of course, Mr. Barkowski today we're going to look at, but a little feature that I'm just introducing, little quirky stats as well, so not just the stats on the game, but obviously little quirky stats that perhaps we've sort of missed, that thanks to a couple of tweet sites which I'll mention later on when we're going through them. Right, yeah, so the lineup, I was seven right with my lineup. That was quite good, actually, because it went a lot stronger than I thought. Ederson, Walker, Garcia, Laporte, Cancelo, Rodri, KDB, Foden, Bernardo, Jesus and Sterling. And the subs, Carson, Stones, Gundogan, Zinchenko, Silva, Mendy, Werner, Mahrez and Otamendi. So yeah, he did go a little bit stronger than I thought he would, actually. So it's, this is again more on Pep later, but obviously he's zoning in now for the Chimps League, isn't he? He's zoning in for that now. The match itself, yeah, I've split it into six sections, 6 hexes, if you like. 6 hexes, obviously all 15-minute sections. You do get the drinks break now as well, don't we? But just a sort of summary of each 15 minutes, really, in the game. I mean, the first real effort was a 10-minute long-range effort, wasn't it, by Rodri, that Jesus tries to get out of the way of, but it is back and brought out quite a good save from Foster, actually, who had again another good game today. But that was the first shot in anger, if you like, within the first 15 minutes. A lot of possession and a lot of control, but not much else really from City. Again, 21 minutes just before the drinks break, some good work by Cancelo, who had a good game. And a Foden shot was deflected wide, but then we had the drinks break to break things up. So it's quite a quiet second hex, wasn't it? Second 15 minutes, so up to the 30-minute mark, it had been a little bit quiet. But then just past the 30-minute mark, the ball sort of fell out on the right wing, didn't it, to Walker, and I don't know, it looked like he was attempting some sort of cross, but obviously it sort of found Raheem on the edge of the box. Still plenty to do. There's plenty of Watford players around, but he didn't mess about, did he? He didn't have to bring it from his left to his right. It was already settled on his right, so a sort of one touch, I think, and he just absolutely hammered it home. I think the commentators and VAR were trying to find reasons for Jesus to have got in the goalkeeper's way, but no, absolutely no chance. So there's no way they're going to get away with that. And obviously a great goal, and we were 1-0 up. And it was obviously that the final hex again of the half where Sterling drew the foul, didn't he? And even the commentators were trying to find a reason for that. They're trying to find that the defender had got a little toe to it before he brought Raheem down. But, you know, they're so desperate for us not to get a goal, aren't they? I mean, you know, I'm sure the VAR man was looking for something, but it wasn't anything special enough to overturn the, obviously, a referee's decision. It was Michael Oliver, wasn't it? We didn't mention Michael Oliver, but I'm not going to rate him today. I think he's pretty much incompetent, so I'm not going to insult him by giving him a regular low score, which I probably would. Yeah, so he drew the foul, and strangely enough, I expected KDB to step up, but no, I mean, we don't usually go in for this sentimentality, and obviously Pep doesn't, does he? But obviously Jesus has got an eye on scoring the hat-trick, I believe. He commented after the game he wanted another hat-trick, so he thought he could get a second goal, he'd have plenty of time to score a third, so that was the reasoning behind it. But at the end of the day, we weren't very happy. I don't think Pep would have been very happy deep down either. I mean, at the end of the day, we've got to win games, and there's no room for sentimentality. So a little bit more of that with KDB as well in a bit. So fantastic save by Foster. Would he have gone the right way? Yes, I would. But he actually hit it quite high, and Foster's a big lad, isn't he? So he got his arm right up there to save it. I mean, so even though, as you know, I like to know whether I would have gone the right way, I would have gone to me right as Foster did. But it wasn't the bad penalty. Obviously, but Foster's such a big guy. He managed to get his arm up and save it, but he couldn't do much with it, could he? And Sterling got the rebound, fortunately, to save his blushes, really, because that would have been a bit of a disaster. 45 minutes. There was a good move involving Bernardo, wasn't he? He played a lot better last night again, a bit deeper, a bit more involved last night. And KDB just put it wide with the outside of his boot. A quick shot, a quick thing from KDB. But it never really looked as though it was ever going to go in. And then on 46 minutes, the first real Watford chance. We got a free kick, didn't he? And it was a tame header, sort of. Well, it was committed by the Watford player, obviously, but it ended up as a tame header straight to Edison. End of the third, Hex, and half-time, 2-0 to City. So comfortable, wasn't it? I mean, there wasn't much... certainly not much panic, was there? We started brightly, didn't we, the second half? 46 minutes, we had a Jesus shot saved, and it sort of pinged to Foden, who pinged it to KDB. And then, I think Watford must have had a word with the referee to play 2 goalies the second half, because the Bernardo shot, I mean, up there with Foster's save last night. I mean, the defender. I mean, even the commentators were saying, "Oh, it was the shape of his body." I mean, he put his I even think he moved his arms to the ball as well instinctively, as you would do, to be honest with you. So yeah, I mean that was. But the AR didn't give anything. The referee didn't give anything. So you just wonder why with things like that. It didn't matter, did it, in the end of the day? But they're the things where we won't get them when they're important, when those things are important. So there's another good Foster save from Sterling, and on 60 minutes, just at the end of the fourth Hex, if you like, a good KDB free kick, but I don't think it ever worried Foster. He had plenty of time to get across because KDB didn't zip it in. He sort of it's quite a slow shot comparatively speaking. Foster had plenty of time to make the save. So obviously the end of that fourth Hex, and City again in command, and Watford don't look as though they're going to be able to pull anything back. 62 minutes, well, KDB spotted a great run, didn't he, from Sterling. Fantastic run by Sterling. And he had his shot saved. And for older guys like me, remember a guy who played for Leeds United called Alan Clark? I used to call him Sniffer. That was his nickname. A bit of my nickname when I used to play out. I was called Sniffer because I could sort of always seem to be in the right place to pick up rebounds, etc. But obviously Foden picked up the rebound and put it into the empty net, basically, wasn't it? So, but obviously all the work by KDB and Sterling, and Foden was just there to pick it up, and that's what we want to see. And we want to see that from Foden. That's absolutely fantastic. We had our first subs on 63 minutes. Zinchenko and Mahrez for Walker and Sterling. 66 minutes. Another goal, wasn't it? I mean, a KDB free kick, another assist, so it takes him to second, doesn't it? Saved by the KDB free kick was headed in well by Laporte, who actually beat the offside trap. Please forgive my hesitation there. I'm missing what I've written down. So it's a good header by Laporte. That's what we want to see, don't we? We don't sort of have that danger from set pieces, do we, up front? So it's a great header by Laporte, who beat the offside trap. I mean, I think a couple of our guys were offside, but certainly Laporte wasn't. He timed his run perfectly, so well done for that. 69 minutes, a good chance for Jesus to lob the keeper, wasn't it? It sort of seemed to sit right, but he was perhaps too near the goal to get it up and down as quick as he could have done. So he could have done better, but being a bit mean with that, I think. So a great fifth Hex, wasn't it? Heading to the fifth part of the game, and obviously soon drinks came soon after that. We had another substitution, Stones for Laporte. 77 minutes, great chance for Watford. The only real chance, I mean, I did have both teams to score on one of my bets, so I was sort of hoping they might get one. But I mean, I think Danny Welbeck had come on then, and his little touch was a little bit too hard. Edison has stayed back, which, was a couple of times yesterday. You expected him to come rearing out, but he'd stayed back a little bit. And Welbeck was through, but just that little touch gave Edison that chance to come out and block it and close him down, and obviously it bounced okay for us, so we got away with that one. That's 77 minutes. It was a bit of a damp squib, that last little Hex of the game, wasn't it? And we had 4 minutes injury time. And then I thought Jesus had scored. I thought a superb header, but he was just offside, wasn't he? I mean, just offside, Mister. I mean, everyone links Jesus. They call him Gabriel Offside Jesus, don't they? I think, but it was a shame because he'd done okay again. He worked hard, Jesus, but it was just offside, unfortunately. So that was that 4-0. I was quite happy with that, weren't we? 4-0. Player ratings: Simon Bukowski today. No Stuart Brennan. The sharing the duties these days. Right, here we go. Simon Bukowski. Ederson barely had anything to do, and Watford seemed prepared for his knack of finding City attackers rapidly on the counter. A very quiet evening. So he's given a 7 out of 10. I'm going to give my basis tonight is going to be, or today is 6.5. So that's my basic for just turning out and starting the game. So anything up and above that is depending on how well they played in the game. So I'm not going to disagree with 7 for Ederson. I think he did a couple of say that late block was pretty good, and he did as much as he had to do last night, and looked a bit more calmer as far as coming out is concerned, which I just mentioned then with that Welbeck one. He doesn't seem to, as in the old days, he would have been out like a shot for that. Walker, with Cancelo on SAR duty to ensure the Watford could never catch City on the break, used his pace well and comfortably roaming forward whenever City attacked, crossing for the first. An extra point for the way he passed Guardiola's instructions onto the team led from the back. Well, I didn't see that, so I'm not aware of that. Simon's given him an 8. I'll give Walker a 7. I'm just a little bit better than average, but I'm not going to go mad like Simon. As Garcia almost caught out early, yeah. I mean, there's one where he sort of got the look of the bounce, didn't he, when he tried to turn the Watford forward. Caught early on in a dangerous position, but remaining fully committed to tackle saved him. Knows how to keep out of trouble even against a speedy Watford attack that should have troubled him. Yeah, so he's give Garcia a 7. I'll agree with that. I'll give Garcia a 7. Laporte, another clean sheet on another outing for the promising partnership with Garcia. It seems significant they started together again after Arsenal, and a goal as well, nodding in the free kick. 7. So he's given him a 7. Yeah, I mean, I'll give him a 7. Yeah, perhaps a bit mean, perhaps 7.5 for the fact he scored the goal as well. But no, I'll stick to 7. I'll be mean. I'll just stick to 7. Cancelo, or Cancelo, whichever way you pronounce it. Surprise start, a left back with Mendes Zinchenko on the bench. Does that put him in the fray for Real Madrid? Contains Sarr well and useful going forward, albeit far from natural on his left foot. So he's only given him a 7. Yeah, I mean, I've only given him a 7. I mean, there's a lot of people raving over it, but we'll talk about Cancelo in a minute at this talking points at the end of this. But yeah, I've only given him a 7. I'll explain a little bit of that later in my little summing up. Rodri nearly rewarded for shooting from distance, but denied a sprawling Foster early on. In regular communication with Guardiola, he was looking to control the game, and he did, and he gave him an 8. So he's got an 8. Yeah, again, people are raving over his possession stats, etc., etc. I'll give him a 7.5. I say I'm looking at the opposition, so I'm not going to get too carried away. Bernardo, significant that he played inside with Foden wide, and he was usually found deeper than De Bruyne. A quietly effective performance that should encourage him at the end of a difficult season. So he gives 7. I'll give Bernardo 7.5. I thought he revelled in his position last night, and I'm going to give a little bit higher than that. I'm going to give 7.5 to Simon's 7 for Bernardo. I think it's one of his better games since the restart. De Bruyne, another assist to keep in the race for that record. There were times when it looked like he was looking for teammates more than goal, yeah, but given the number of good chances they have missed from him in recent games, he's probably allowed. So Simon's giving him a 7. Yeah, I've got to edge it to 7.5 because I think he was everything came through without David Silva on the pitch. Everything came through KDB creatively last night. So I'm going to give him a 7.5. Foden, a slow start on the right wing, but was electric when he switched in the first half and played a pivotal role in earning City's penalty before finishing tidily in the second. Increasingly looks a player capable of regularly injecting the rapid quality needed to punish opponents. So Simon's giving him an 8. Yeah, I'm going to give him a 7.5. I'm not going to go mad. I thought he played well, scored the goal. Again, within the scene we were playing, he was okay. I'm not going to go over the top. Sterling, reminiscent of a young Thomas Muller. There we go. Nobody in the league, in the game, can ghost into dangerous space like Sterling. Well, certainly KDB can find him, or David Silva when he's on the pitch. And his finishing was miles more emphatic than Wembley. Another penalty miss, but kept his composure to net the rebound. So he's give Sterling a 9. Yeah, I'm not going to go that far. I don't think it was a 9 out of 10. You say he sort of grew into the game and had some great moments. But I'm going to give Sterling an 8. So yeah, still high, but not quite as high as Simon. Jesus, a classic Jesus performance. He led the line well, made sure life was never easy for Foster, and played his part in a successful attacking performance, albeit without being able to find the net himself. Yeah, so He's given him a 7. I'm going to agree with a 7 as well. I say if he'd sort of scored that goal at the end, I would have given him a 7.5 or an 8 perhaps. But yeah, he gets a standard 7. And the subs, Mahrez for Sterling, always a tough ass to shine with the game already won, made little impact. So he's given him a 6. I'll give Mahrez a 6.5, which is my basic. So I'm not going to do any less than that for him. Zinchenko, some decent deliveries into the box from the left. And not particularly, I wouldn't have thought. He's given me 7. I'll give him a 6.5. And Stones for Laporte looked as though Sarr could have bested him, but a well-worked offside trap. So he's given Stones a 6. I'm going to give him the basic 6.5 on that. So that's Mrs. Player ratings and mine, and the normal stats: 23% possession for Watford, 77% for City. Watford 2 shots, none on target. Does that? I mean, I thought that header was on target that was saved, although it may have took a flick off a City player as well, or whatever. So that's probably why it didn't count. I'm not too sure on that one. City 26 shots. That's a regular theme, isn't it? 25, 26 shots for City, 10 on target. That's a lot better. 8 corners for City, none for Watford. 14 fouls by Watford, 11 fouls by City. And some quirky stats now, just a little bit different. Up to Joe. So there's a few from Up to Joe, at Up to Joe. And the number 12, Man City have scored 12 goals against Watford in the Premier League this season without conceding once. This goal difference of 12 over the 2 fixtures is the largest in the top flight since 1947-48. Arsenal 12, Grimsby 0. There you go. Again from Up to Joe, 13. Watford goalkeeper Ben Foster has lost on each of his last 13 starts against Manchester City in the Premier League. The longest run of losses by a starting player against a specific side in the Premier League history. Poor bugger. 22. This is from at Man City. Have now kept 22 clean sheets this season, meaning this is their 7th best season in form in terms of clean sheets in the club's history. So that's not too bad. Stat City at Stat City 8. Phil Foden has now scored 8 goals this season, making this his highest goal-scoring season, overtaking the 2018-19 season. Up to Joe at Up to Joe, 12. Manchester City have scored 12 Premier League goals against Watford in 2019-20, the joint most by a team against an opponent in a season, along with Blackburn versus Nottingham Forest in 1995-96 and Spurs versus Wigan in 2009-10. So a slight difference to the other stats which I told you about. Up to Joe again at Up to Joe, 14. In Phil Foden's 16 starts in all competitions for Manchester City in 2019-20 has been directly involved in 14 goals, 6 goals and 8 assists. Stat City at Stat City 6. All 6 of Laporte's goals for Man City have been scored away from the Etihad Stadium. There you go. And the final one, Stat City at Stat City again. 10. Sterling has now scored more goals against Watford for Manchester City in all competitions, 10, than against any other opponent. So, we enjoyed that. Just a little quirky thing. Some not the normal stats. Just quite interesting. Some of those little stats, aren't they? I'll do that. I'll try and do those next season when the next season kicks off and the Champions League games kick in as well, and obviously the last Norwich game. All right, talking points. Watford. Yeah, they weren't great. I mean, it's hard to see how they're still in with a chance of staying up. It's made harder now. Villa won last night after our game, so Watford will have to go and do something at Arsenal. They can't afford to get beat at Arsenal. But Villa have got West Ham again. They're going to have to perhaps do something there. The only team, Bournemouth, are 3 points behind. They're the only other team in the mix for the last 2 relegation spots. They go to Everton, but they're already 3 points behind, and there's a similar goal difference. So it's looking like Bournemouth, unless Watford and Villa do sort of crack up at their matches and Bournemouth do something. So, yeah, I'm not, of the 3, I mean, I'm not a great, I don't particularly, of the 3, I probably would want Bournemouth to stay up, but they're not staying up, are they? So, Villa or Watford, I don't particularly like either of those two, to be honest with you. I've got personal reasons for both of those not to like them particularly. So I'm not bothered whoever goes down with them, but I'd say certainly based on what we saw at Watford last night, they weren't great, were they? Cancelo, yeah, there was a lot of positivity, wasn't there? But I mean, you know how much we paid for this guy. I mean, this guy costs us a small fortune. So, and all the scouting reports did say he was quite good going forward. All right, he was a right back and he played at left back, but obviously he used his left foot as well as his right foot, so he can do it. So yeah, we have paid a lot of money for this guy, so I'm not surprised that he has got skills. I mean, that's why Pep bought him in the first place. So I'm not overly enamoured. Everyone's all shocked about this. I mean, it's no shock to me. I mean, it's just waiting. He's never really had a chance to settle in and get started, has he? So certainly not a shock for me, but it's nice that he's getting that sort of significance, and from a confidence point of view, it'll be great with the Champions League coming up as well, obviously. So yeah, Cancelo. That's why I'm not as raving perhaps as some people are, because can you remember how much we paid for him? KDB, yeah, he's looking a little bit the same way of Sterling was taking the penalty to get these goals up, and he's still got an outside chance, but very doubtful of getting the golden boot. KDB's again with the assists. He seems to be looking for that assist more and more, and that's a bit worrying. I mean, they should concentrate on the game. It's a team at the end of the day. It's not about individuals, but yeah, so that is a bit something probably Pep usually stamps down on, isn't it? And as I say, I think deep down he wouldn't have been happy about the penalty yesterday, so perhaps he'll have a word with KDB and say, just play your natural game. But his natural game is to find that killer pass. So, yeah, it'd be interesting, won't it, against Norwich. Bernardo, yeah, personally, I love Bernardo, and he's not had the greatest season, has he, compared to last season. But I was happy with how he looked. He looked up for it last night. He looked more bubbly, didn't he? He was allowed a bit more room against Watford. It's not the best gauge, obviously, against a team like Watford, who really were journeyman and poor, to be honest with you. They're not the greatest Premier League team. They've got a lot of very bang average players. So yeah, but I was happy, and he seemed happier. But his confidence was up last night, and I think that'll do him good, Bernardo. Sterling again, confidence wise, yeah. I mean, he wasn't playing so great before the shutdown, was he? But his confidence is up there, and that's what we need. And say he's confident enough to step up and take the penalty, even though he nearly fluffed it. I mean, all credit to him. Pep zoned in now, isn't he? He's talking a lot, he's chatting a lot, he's talking to himself a lot. You see some of the images, so he's got him talking. Obviously, he's talking to someone who's about 12 feet away, but yeah, there's a bit of fun on the internet about him talking to all the managers that are better than him, and he sort of seems to be jabbering away to nobody in particular, but he is, obviously, and he does talk to himself, don't we all? I'm talking to myself, no one's watching this, so yeah, I mean, he is zoned in now. That team proved it. No time for youngsters now, apart from Garcia and Foden. There'll be no Taylor, Harwood, Bellis and Doyle, etc. getting a look in now to the end of the season, unless we have some injury problems, obviously. But he's zoned in with that team, wasn't he? That team last night, and the subs as well. All his seasoned guys that he's going to rely on in the Champions League. So we can see that he'll be zoned in for the Norwich game. He might try another, like he did last night, a few little changes and tweaks and stuff, and obviously just to mix it up a little bit, and that's what we want to see off Pep. We want him tinkering a little bit, don't we? Not too much, but a little bit. So it's nice to see Pep zoned in. And yeah, and some people are saying obviously that's the fourth in a row win, which, when you think about last year, was it 14? The year before we did 18 wins on the row. That's the first time we've hit 4 this season, so that sort of more or less sums up the season, doesn't it? We know what the seasons have been like, and that stat, if you like, that's the first time we've actually won 4 league games in a row. Sort of says it all, doesn't it? So let's make it 5 and finish the season off, and then we can think about the Chimps League, and let's go for that, because I've been getting that in the neck at work the last couple of days about, if we have a Notts Forest fan at work, and all we get is even Notts Forest have won the Champions League, the European Cup a couple of times. We've not even won it once yet, so it'd be nice to get that monkey off our back, wouldn't it? But if you know me, I'm not overly optimistic. I've been laying City all season to lose it, and I'm willing to lose that money as if we won it. That'd be fantastic. But it was just, with City being the firm favourites for most of the season, it was just too much of an opportunity to not go for, to be honest with you. Yeah, so the 4 in a row, yeah, as I say, that's just a reflection of the season, isn't it? Right, well, that's that. I hope you enjoyed that. So 23 minutes, a bit longer than normal. Thanks for joining. Please, as I said, please let other people know. Please check my little links on the screen, etc. And if you're into movies and films and posters, I do little movie and TV reviews, etc. on the vlogs. They're all connected with this Citizen vlog as well. So if you're into that, and you can check out my website, moviegamenostalgia.com. That'd be thumbs up to you. Fantastic for old DVDs, movie posters and board games on there, so you can have a look on there at any time. Much appreciated. Right, so I'll be back obviously with a preview of the Norwich game on Saturday the 25th of July. And also a full review of that game, obviously, on Monday the 27th of July. I was going to do it on the Sunday night, but I don't want to be rushing round and mess it up, so I will do it on the Monday. And there's a couple of City Pass vlogs obviously come out recently. Obviously, hopefully you've caught up with the Tony Book Tony Buck one, and there was another one, wasn't there? What was the other one? Oh, Alan Oaks. Yeah, I've done the one on Alan Oaks and Tony Buck. Please check my playlist there for that City Pass. And the next couple out on the 25th of July, so the same day I'll be bringing out the Norwich game preview. A little special on Mike Shannon signing for City, 25th of July, anniversary of that. And on the 28th of July, the anniversary of that, a certain Mr. Sergio Aguero arrived as well. So a little City Pass on that as well. So please get that notification pressed, get subscribing, and keep your eyes out for those little specials coming up quite soon. Anyway, thanks for joining me today. Up the Blues, eh? Back on track. Let's. We need 3 for 100, isn't it? 3 for 100 goals, is it, against Norwich? So let's have 5 or 6 on Saturday. Let's say goodbye to Norwich in the right way for beating us. Let's face it, that was probably the start of the rot, wasn't it? The Tottenham draw at home, perhaps, where we just didn't put our chances away. And then the Norwich draw, and that sort of was the season beginning to be written off very early doors, wasn't it? So we owe them one, don't we? We owe Norwich one anyway, so please join me again for the preview of that one. Anyway, thanks for watching today. It's been wonderful spending some time with you. We're going to do the rest of a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your family, and more importantly, let's all look after each other. And until you join me again for another Citizen Past or Present, this is Bird saying goodbye for now. Up the Blues.